Hey guys, pdw5 here. One more video here, update on my Wii PDW. You can see I got some trademarks in here now. They didn't quite turn out as good as I was hoping. They are a lot finer than I thought. I think I should have, when I made my drawings for them, made the lettering a little bit thicker, all my lines a little thicker. It pretty much followed them exactly. And then she scaled them down a little bit. They're actually smaller than what I made in them originally, so they don't show up as well, but I mean, it's a huge improvement. There was nothing there before, now there is, so I'm not going to complain too much about that. The other thing I wanted to do in this video, I get a ton of requests of how did you do the stock adapter, where did you get the stock adapter. Guys, I made this stock adapter, and I'm going to try to walk you through a little bit here how I did this now. You're going to have to mentally visualize some things because I can't even take this thing apart because of the way I have it together right now. So you have to bear with me, and I don't want to make another one step by step because there's a lot of work involved in making this. But the first thing you want to do is make a cardboard template of the back here, and I use the cardboard from a cereal box. It works really, really well. It's thin, it's pretty stiff. Just make it, I made mine come over this, following this outside edge, up here, and then straight across. That way I would leave this metal in here if I wanted to use it, and over. You can always take metal off. You can't really put it back as easy, so remember that when you're doing this. Once you get that cardboard template, I transferred it to my aluminum block here, and then cut that rough out with my table saw, my miter saw, hacksaw, all the things I needed, whatever tool I had available that would make the cut that I needed. It took a long time to do it. Once you get that piece roughed out of here, then I just started fitting it to my receiver itself, and using my Dremel tool and cutoff wheels mostly, started getting it to fit nice and tight like it is. So that's just the front half of this piece, guys. Once I got that front half piece fit all nice and tight, I ended up using it and making another template, rough outline here of the second half of this piece. So the back half, this piece right here. Then I cut that out, and I actually took that piece to a friend of mine who has really big drill bits. He had one up to an inch. An inch was the closest I could get to these threads without going over. They're actually like 1.17 to the outside edge of these threads, but his next drill bit was 1.25 inches, which would be too big. I wanted to be able to screw this thing in and lock it in with threading instead of like epoxying it in or something if I went over. So I had him drill it out to 1 inch, and then I used my Dremel tool and reamed it out until I could start to thread the buffer tube itself into that adapter piece. Really, really tight. I had to put it in a vise and use, you can see the markings on here, I had to use a vise and pipe wrench in order to thread that thing on. So, but it'll never come off. That's why you don't get to see it off right now, is because it is super, super tight. It is a pain to take that buffer tube off. After I got that drilled in, the gas tube set, put my two pieces together, clamped them, drilled these holes that you see with the screws in them, took the clamps off, threaded the back half of them so that these could screw in and thread. So Loctited those on, epoxied on the inside where these two meet, so that's locked in all nice and tight. And then I drilled and I tapped this hole right here. Then I drilled this hole to match it so they fit together, and then I just run my screw through the receiver, and that one screw and how tight all this stuff fits there and over here is enough to lock that thing on there permanently. And then the only other thing I had to do was cut a little bit of this thing off, notch that out so that it would fit over this screw head. And I thought about countersinking this screw, but there's not a whole lot of metal here, and I just figured I'd rather just take the little bit off of here. It's not going to hurt anything. So anyways, there is how I made that stock adapter. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll try to answer them. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you watching as always. Hope that answers your questions, and we'll catch you next time.